April 29th, 1987. Sridhar adamantly defends his appointment of a Rtvik representative. On April 29th, 1987, Sridhar had a conversation with his follower, Dr. Asthana, where the topic was Sridhar's Rtvik appointment of his disciple, Govind Maharaj. I won't read the entire discussion here, but will point out the highlights. If you want to read the entire transcript, click on the link and the presentation will pause, and that transcript will be larger and scrollable. This conversation was actually recorded. It took place on April 29th, 1987. It is Sridhar Maharaj discussing about his appointing Govinda Maharaj, his disciple, as his Rtvik representative. Dr. Asana, I am a little worried about Srila Govinda Maharaj's position. Sridhar Maharaj, I have given him, I have empowered him to do all things on my behalf, Rtvik. I have appointed him to do all spiritual activity on my behalf. Dr. Astan, but this Rtvik word is misinterpreted by many people. Sridhar, they may do so. Dr. Astana, some do not consider him as a direct successor. They consider him only as a Rtvik. Sridhar, more than Rtvik. More than Rtvik, whatever it may be. I am giving power, just as Yovaraj. When the king installs his son as king and retires himself, what will be the result? As Dasarath wanted to do with Ramchandra. The king gives all authority of the king to the son, and he retires and he goes to the jungle, although he is living with full power and glory. Dr. Astan, many people I have talked to do not consider the Rtvik to be the direct guru. They say the Rtvik is a Rtvik. Sridhar, Rtvik is Rtvik, but if such transfer of power is done, then what harm? For those that have got no Shraddha, which is faith, they may go away. They may not accept. I do not care. I don't accept them. Dr. Astana, does Rtvik mean the direct successor? Sridhar, Rtvik means the representative. It may be temporary or it may be permanent. It may be partial or it may be full, as empowerment is there. Dr. Astana, is the empowerment to Govinda Maharaj now temporary or permanent? Sridhar, permanent, wholesale, both property and the function transferred. If anyone has no recognition of this, if no one has any recognition of this opinion of mine, I do not want them to live in the mission. I drag them out. Dr. Astana, but they can still operate from outside and still operate as part and parcel of you. Sridhar, as a revolt, that is a revolt without sanction. Anyone can do. I have deserted them, but they may do anything and everything as they wish and reap the result far from the spiritual world, from God, unlawful. Power may be extended and withdrawn also. I want to withdraw myself from them. Those that won't have faith in my decision, I withdraw from them. It is not a fashion, but a question of faith. If they do not have such faith in me, I withdraw myself from them. Dr. Astan, some devotees may consider that power of Rtvik was given to me in 1982 or 1984, and he got that power in 1986, so I am more senior. Sridhar, no position of seniority, no position of senior. That only seniority will be considered as the qualification? No. Dr. Stan, I was thinking of sending all the senior devotees a letter trying to make this thing clear so that later on no complication like that comes up, because at that time we will be very insecure when other types of interpretations start. Sridhar, according to their faith, what to think, what to say. Those that do not obey me after my departure means automatically they will be left by me. Only it is a transaction of faith. No right, but faith. If no faith in my word, then they are automatically rejected. Dr. Asthana, some people have no particular obligation of faith to anyone. They go on to many persons to gather something. They are just interested in knowledge and position. Sridhar, we have no concern with them. We hate them. We hate them. We don't think that they have any religious line in life. In a very crude position, maybe there will be some collecting of knowledge here and there when one cannot understand who is who. Okay, this is later on in the conversation. It looks like Dr. Asthana is now addressing Govind Maharaj, the one who has been appointed as the Rtvik. He said, this is what I am saying. You have to have a certain number who you can consider now as your disciples. So Govind says, if anybody wants to take initiation from me, that is another thing. But everyone is coming from outside and they are asking for initiation from Srila Guru Maharaj, meaning Sridhar Maharaj. And I am officiating by way of giving initiation on behalf of Srila Guru Maharaj. This is the position at present. Dr. Asthana, so how to stop this position? Govinda Maharaj says, yes, we can stop it immediately. That is no problem. The problem is that they have some special regard and respect for Srila Guru Maharaj, meaning Sridhar. Dr. Asthana, but I may have some special regard and respect for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but that doesn't mean I can ask Srila Guru Maharaj to give me initiation on behalf of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Sridhar Maharaj now speaks. He says that is not acceptable in this case. Dr. Asthana, yes, I may have some special regard for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, but it is not that I can come to Srila Guru Maharaj and say, give me initiation on behalf of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sridhar Maharaj had appointed his disciple Govind Maharaj as his Rtvik representative. He only appointed one, and thus he gave him full authority and he gave him full possession of the ashrams, of Sridhar's ashrams and its properties. Sridhar says that those who don't have faith in his words of appointing his disciple as a Rtvik representative, he said, for those that have gotten no shraddha, no faith, they may go away. They may not accept. I do not care. I don't accept them. And then he says, Rtvik means the representative. It may be temporary, or it may be permanent. It may be partial, or it may be full, as empowerment is there. This is a very key understanding that Sridhar Maharaj is giving. He's basically saying that however the current guru, however the current acharya, however he empowers, however he authorizes that Rtvik representative to act, that is how he will act. It is up to the current acharya, how he has empowered, how he has authorized his representative. Sridhar then says that he has given his disciple Govind permanent wholesale authority. Permanent wholesale for both the property and the function transferred. If anyone has no recognition of this opinion of mine, I do not want them to live in the mission. I drag them out. So anyone who doesn't accept this, Sridhar says he doesn't want them living in his mission. He will drag them out. Obviously, Sridhar is defending the validity of the Rtvik representative system completely. Some men had objected. In Sridhar's Chaitanya Math, some men had objected, including this Dr. Asthana. And some of the men were living outside of the ashram. So Dr. Asthana asked if they can still serve him from outside, and Sridhar blasts them. Since they don't accept that the Rtvik system is bona fide, Sridhar says, I have deserted those men. And he has withdrawn his spiritual potency from them. A quote, those that do not obey me after my departure means automatically they will be left by me. Only it is a transaction of faith, no right but faith. If no faith in my word, they are automatically rejected. Sridhar Maharaj speaks very sharply in defense of the Rtvik representative system. Even after he has departed, if there are those who don't accept, then automatically they are rejected by him. Govind Maharaj is the person Sridhar appointed as his Rtvik. And he says during the conversation, Govinda Maharaj says, if anybody wants to take initiation from me, that is another thing. But everyone is coming from outside, and they are asking for initiation from Srila Guru Maharaj, meaning Sridhar. And I am officiating by way of giving initiation on behalf of Srila Guru Maharaj. This is the position at present. Now, just so I don't get blamed for trying to mislead everyone, when Sridhar appointed Govind as his Rtvik representative, he said that anyone who wants to become, Sridhar's disciple, his disciple, they can do so through the hands of Govind. But the system that Sridhar Maharaj set up was not the same system that Srila Prabhupada set up. And Sridhar made that clear, that it is by the empowerment, as the current Acharya empowers that system, as the current Acharya empowers that Rtvik, he will act accordingly. So Sridhar, he selected Govind to become his successor and later on become the actual guru. But that is not what our Srila Prabhupada did when he selected men to act as his Rtvik representatives. Sridhar was also told that, Sridhar told Govind that it was up to him if and when he wants to accept his own disciples. And it wasn't just on his departure. Sridhar left that decision up to Govind. He could start doing it right then. Sridhar was still present because Sridhar had retired. He was quite old. But basically, that was the system. As long as people came wanting to take initiation from Sridhar Maharaj, Govind would do that on his behalf, even after Sridhar leaves this world. But Sridhar only chose Govind to act as the Rtvik for his Chaitanya Math. He didn't select multiple Ritviks, which he thought was a mistake on Prabhupada's behalf, but it was different. And Prabhupada didn't want, he has the GBC. I don't think in Sridhar's Math he had a GBC. So the management was going on by the GBC in Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. The Rtvik only just performs the ceremonial aspects of the initiation. So in Sridhar's Math, he turned everything over to Govind. All of the management, all of the properties, everything, and including to act as his Rtvik representative while he was living or even afterwards. If anyone had wanted to take initiation from him, they do so at the hand of Govind. So he left it, he organized it differently, and Sridhar said, it is by the empowerment of the current Acharya, is how he empowers that Rtvik to act, that is how he will act. These are golden instructions that we should understand and take, because actually Sridhar was a very advanced Vaishnava. Like I said, Prabhupada had only said one of his godbrothers were qualified to translate Srimad Bhagavatam, and that was Sridhar Maharaj. He had a very good, solid understanding of our Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious philosophy. The system that Sridhar set up worked for his institution because he didn't set up a GBC. So he selected one person who would actually eventually become his successor, but that until, as people were coming and wanted to take initiation from Sridhar, he was to act as the Rtvik and provide that conduit to him. Now, this Dr. Asthana says that, someone may have some affinity toward Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they want to, so they come and ask Guru Maharaj, can you initiate me as Bhaktivinoda's disciple or Bhaktisiddhanta's disciple? And Sridhar only comments that will not work in this situation, or that something to that effect. I'll have to look at the quote, but I'll put it up here. But the real understanding is that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, as Srila Bhaktivinoda, they didn't authorize anyone to act as their Rtvik representative. The first person to ever have done that is our Srila Prabhupada. And that's what Sridhar makes reference to. He says that this Rtvik system is already established, here in India and abroad in foreign lands. Who did that? That was Srila Prabhupada. So Until then, no other guru, no other acharya had ever authorized, ever set up a Ritvik system. That is why the system that Srila Prabhupada set up is so unique. And look at what these Indian men, these Dr. Asthana and so many of Sridhar's disciples, they couldn't get their heads around this idea of a Rtvik representative. Rtvik is just the ceremonial priest. Is he the guru or is he a priest? What is it, And they couldn't get their hand around that if the acharya authorizes, and this is even what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was still present, where Srila Sridhar was still present. They couldn't get their hands around the idea of a Ritvik idea. When Srila Prabhupada was present and he authorized the 11 Ritviks, they could go and perform the whole thing with Prabhupada no longer physically involved in the process, and they could take care of the temple presidents, make the recommendation, send it to the nearest Ritvik, the Ritvik give the name, chant on the beads, do the whole process, send it back, the temple presidents do the fire yajna. No involvement by Srila Prabhupada. That was an entire full system that he gave in writing with his signature. Basically the GBC accept that system. Here in Sridhar's case, he has set up one person to act as Ritvik, and they're coming and saying, there's a whole lot of people who say, no, this is wrong. Gurudev, can we convince you you're wrong? Can you change your, And he was saying, anybody who doesn't accept, they have no faith in my word, kick them out. I'm done with them. I don't have anything to do with them. This is how strong of a argument he gave. And in favor of just a Ritvik system, whether he was present or not, it was the Ritvik system. However, the acharya empowers that person, that Ritvik, that they will act. It depends on the empowerment by the acharya. Bhaktisiddhanta never empowered anyone to be a Ritvik, to be his Ritvik representative. Bhaktivinoda never did. Rupa Goswami never did. Nityananda never did. Chaitanya never did. None of the past acharyas had done this, but Srila Prabhupada did. And then Sridhar saw Srila Prabhupada had done it, so he did it. He authorized one Ritvik representative, and he stood firmly in defending that system.